Lions won the division, earned the conference's only bye, but you see Minnesota there with still a fantastic record at 14-3. Vikings had to travel to Los Angeles to play the 10-7 Rams. And we ended up with 3 such scenarios this past postseason: Commanders and Bucks, as well as Chargers and Texans in the AFC. Let's welcome in our NFL insider, Jonathan Jones. JJ, what more can you tell us? Because you've been on this thing for months now in terms of where we are in the beginning of the year, calendar year, that is, and what we have potentially here embarking in Minneapolis this week. What's the latest on that front in terms of playoff format changes potentially?
Yeah, right around the start of 2025, I heard that the league could be looking at potentially reseeding playoff teams, changing the format of the playoffs, where it's all about records. It's not about winning the division. The division today gives you a home playoff game. Well, that would no longer be guaranteed under the Detroit Lions proposal. It would just guarantee that you make the playoffs, and then seeds would be determined simply by your win percentage. And so we see right here what it would have been under the rules last year, right, where the Vikings would have been a 3 seed and hosted a playoff game, right? And so that would have been ultimately the difference. Now, of course, this is sort of ex post facto analysis, because there are certain teams like the Commanders and like the Eagles who didn't go all out at the end of the season. And so we don't know how many wins or losses certain teams would have had, because that wasn't the rule, right? It's almost like in a presidential election where you go out and say, oh, well, they won the popular vote, but they lost the Electoral College. Well, the Electoral College is what mattered, not the popular vote. And if it did, then you probably would have done something differently. Like the Rams would have played Matthew Stafford in the last game of the season. So these are the new rules. They will be discussed. But right now, I don't believe that this is going to pass next week in Minneapolis, because I do believe it is too radical of a change right now for NFL team owners. They discussed this last month at the big league meetings. These are smaller meetings. They will probably discuss it some more. I don't think it's going to come to a vote, because I don't think the votes are there to actually change it. And typically, when the votes aren't there, it is not actually brought to a vote. So they'll keep talking about it. I expect this to change at some point in the future, just not right now.
Yeah, good luck maybe getting that 75% that you're talking about here, JJ. So obviously, some fans would like to dive into this potential change and saying, hey, if we had 14 wins, we should get a home game. Has there been other pushback into other things? We know the Chargers tried a couple years ago. This isn't the first time, but every time this kind of comes up, what sort of is the pushback of like having something move forward?
Yeah, Tommy, the pushback immediately is from the football purists who repeat the exact same cliche, that winning your division has to matter. And they never actually back that up with any facts. It's just like, well, it's what we've said for decades, and so I'm going to keep saying it. But I'm here to tell you that actually your division today, in today's NFL, matters less than it ever has before. Let me explain. Back when there were 16 games, you had 6 divisional games. Well, now there are 17 games. So literally, just math, simple math, division games matter less. When they move to 18 games, guess what? They are going to matter even less. Back in the day, you got 2 teams with a first-round bye in the playoffs. Today, you just get 1, and so winning your division actually matters less. Now, there are 3 wildcard teams instead of just 2, and so even if you don't win your division, you still have better odds of getting into the playoffs than ever before. And lastly, I would say to that idea of winning your division gets you a home playoff game, well, that means 1 out of 4, right? Every division has 4 teams. Well, every conference has 16 teams. And you have 4 teams that can get home games. And so 4 out of 16, that's 1 out of 4. The odds, the math, Tommy, it's still the same. I know this is sports and entertainment. I don't mean to be taking us back to arithmetic class, but really all you need is an abacus.
Oh, yeah. It's simple as it gets. But some people, as you know, like to dive into that stuff there and play what if you will. And we'll see if it ends up being that way, but not anytime soon, it looks like. All right. Do you have a question, Amanda?
Yeah, I got permission to ask JJ a question.
Okay.
A man who used to live in New York and is now in the Boston area. JJ, coming up, we're talking Knicks and Celtics. Do you have like a pick in this game?
You know what? I'm hoping that everybody has fun.
Oh,
and
shut
I'm also
up, JJ.
rooting for a Game 7.
Okay, there you go. Okay, so Game 7. So he's going with the Celtics there.
Just to get to a Game 7 and then leave it as it may, whoever wins.
I realize, though, his wife, does she work for the Celtics? Maybe that's it. Maybe that's why Jonathan Jones wants a happy wife.